Ba. Testing, testing. My music perhaps a bit too loud. Ba. Sort of looks a little loud to me. Might I have some generous feedback by anyone in the audience? Oh, a little 5:40 a.m. Vanille, don't mind if I do. Alan, very good to see you again. How are you? Sound fine to me, but I keep my volume pretty low. Long as I'm audible, more so than the music, I think that's fine. Sleepy, but not as much as I should be. Indeed, for 5:40 a.m., I would expect you to be fast asleep. Maybe just an hour ago. Still. Jump. Well, Delend, I hope you jumped to your heart's content. Captain Cube? Is that Vanille? Wow! It's Vanille! Wow! Vanille, wow! Wow, indeed. So I can't even talk. So sorry to sneak back in as if nothing has happened for these past 22 days. Yet here I am, in all of my glory, shamelessly. No announcement, no real plan. Just a lady with a dream. Hi, Vanille, it's been a while. I haven't seen you since last year. Mr. Hickory Dude, wonderful to see you as well, darling, indeed. And even though it is a joke, it still has been quite a long time. I can't really remember the last time that I took so long off from streaming. I did try a little TikTok. I did try a little TikTok. As the kids do, as they call it, a TikTok. That's about all I did content creation wise. I did create content and then I didn't film it or properly document it. Oops. And then I tried to make a cute little video and I don't know. I don't know why it would not post. Twitter was like, I've never seen that file in my life. I simply can't allow you to upload it, Vanille. I simply won't allow it. So, that was interesting. That was an interesting time on mine. That genie problem, welcome in, welcome in. Captain? Jug of Honey says 12:41 a.m. for me. Well, that's not too late. That's a fine time to grab a drink and sit around with friends. Very glad to hear that. I need, hey, hey, I need a dollar is what I need. Jack Delane in the flesh, lovely to see you. Welcome back, Petsty. Hi, thank you so much for that warm welcome. Oh my goodness, that reminds me, I didn't implement any of the things that I wanted to implement before I started streaming. But I will. Changes will happen. New things will occur. They just aren't yet. I was terribly busy, even though I was not streaming. I truly was. I have nothing to show for it. Unless you're in my Discord, and then I mentioned a little bit about all the cocktails I was working on. Party events and things like that. It's Vanille TikTok Orion! It's me, TikTok Vanille. All the TikTokers are always saying, wow, Vanille on TikTok. That's right, Captain Cube, you can find Vanille Orion, your favorite bartender, Chanteuse Club owner extraordinaire, and TikTok doer on TikTok. Well, it's busy in a bar in December, exactly, Valence. It very, very much is. And there's not a great way for me to film how I come up with cocktail recipes. A lot of it is research, honestly. A lot of it is research. I just sit down. You have to know why you're making a cocktail, right? I'm tripping over myself. You can do whatever you want. I am a big fan of doing whatever the fuck you want. You know what I did? You know what very non-fancy thing I did? I made a cup of tea and I put elderflower in it, and that's all. That's all I've got tonight. Elderflower liqueur, of course, not just elder. But you see, you can do anything you want, but when I make a very specific signature original cocktail, oh, I go a little crazy. Go a little crazy. It's not enough to just put things that taste good together. I have to research the history, evolution over time. Who came up with this cocktail? Why did they? What was going on in the world at the time? What truly makes it what it is today? You take a sip. What are you expecting? Not the taste, no, the texture, sounds, the ambiance, smell. Oh, more people. Dax is always good to you, darling. Hope you had a wonderful holiday. Indeed I did. Quite busy, but wonderful indeed. Also, speaking of flesh, I had my first hand cam stream earlier. Went well. Only had one person ask me to take my pants off. That seems rude. Or perhaps a compliment? I'm not really sure where that falls. But I hope it was a wonderful time. Have you considered lying and making a video where you do a Sherlock Mind Palace type situation? Oh, that sounds fun. I do love lying. Valence, you might have given me a fantastic idea. You better pin that one, buddy. I like it. I'm gonna roll with it. And hello, hello. Step 1, draw a circle. Step 2, draw the rest of the cocktail. The first circle is hours and hours of research. And then the second circle is I put all of the ingredients in a glass and go bam, done. Here we are. Fang! Hello, silly woman. Hello, my Fang, my darling. I got to see you a little bit. I was lurking in your stream. And I didn't say anything because I was fighting off sleep. And that helped. That helped. I could not speak because I was tired. I don't like to be tired at 7. Really, I need to just take a nap at 7 because otherwise I sit here like a zombie until the wave of tiredness leaves me. And then I don't feel particularly refreshed. I could have just skipped the middleman, fast forward to the future, and then been happy. But no. But I did get to watch Fang's stream, which is always a delight. It makes the blurry times much better. Hey, did you set up your quest 2 yet? Hey, wake up! I didn't try again. I did some troubleshooting. You know how that goes for me. And I think it should be working. Vanille hates me. No, I don't, Fang! Fang, you know how hard it is for me to be smart. You're asking so much. She does not want to play VR with me. Fang, that's not true. Here. There's a mute button. Ooh. I do want to play with you, Fang. I'm gonna figure it out, alright? It's tough. It's tough. I went in a big circle. It said you need to download this, put in your password, and then I would put in the password, and then it would go, oh, you need to start the game before you can put in your password. Why are you putting in a password? And it just did it over and over again. But I did manage to get, I got to the lobby area, and that was something. That was better than before, and I think it's connected to my Steam now. I think I've gotten it that far. I am ever closer. Let's see. Fang, you are so right. She is so silly. Wombly, welcome as well. Welcome. Glad to see you in. Hope everything is well. Jug of Honey says, I love watching your mixed drink videos. I need to make more of them. Damn it. I make so many and then I don't record them. Oops. Yeah, Wombly. Mocha is going stir crazy without a computer. Oh, I bet. Poor Mocha. Saying, help her troubleshoot. Buy me a flight to your place. We'll get it set up. Oh my god, that would be delightful. That would be delightful. Listen, you say this, Fang, but the second I have the money for that, I am absolutely... I'm absolutely flying you up here to take away all of my troubles. Vanille will get out of her boomer phase eventually. Hey, listen. Throw it on Throne. I like that idea. We're gonna fundraise Fang coming and setting me straight. That's a really good fundraiser. What would we title it? Fang save Vanille from her... what is it called? Computer illiterate self? Something like that. Am I caught up? Vanille grows more powerful every day. I did get closer. I'm very angry because I made one button on Sammy on my laptop and I cannot get it to work now. I cannot get it to work now on my desktop where I should have the most power, the most flexibility. So that's grand. But oh, I suppose I could. Oh, and now we're in an ad break. Now we're in an ad break. I was talking, damn you. Bayman has to be flown out to handle technical setup stuff. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how Fang does it. I don't know how she goes from quite literally living in the Stone Age to being able to deal with these magic rocks that have powerful waves inside and create images and transfer information across wide, varied distances. You know, runes make more sense to me than a computer. I could use a rune. I don't know how to do this. This is terrible. Have made progress on your quest. Two. It was that or stare at sun. I had to make a choice. Well, you made the choice that centuries later. Centuries? Not quite eons. Millennium? Can I use millennium here? Millennium would be helpful to Vanille. Thank you. Thank you for your sacrifice. I know you must have missed looking at the sun. I thank you for learning where I could not. Oh, pardon me. Oh yes, alright, we're all caught up. Ah, I'm so happy to see so many friendly, familiar faces here. Thought we'd do just a little bit of chatting and... Well, I do have quite a few new games. I didn't want to start anything very intense, as, well, I just got back. And I wasn't even sure how many people would be here. We've got quite a full crowd tonight. Might have to put some more chairs up. This is wonderful. But yes, I've got quite a few new games. Thought we might do something a little chill, but a little sinister. Perhaps something a little dark. Perhaps something a little mysterious. I thought that would be fun. Also, I don't know that anyone wants to hear screaming at 12:30 a.m. or perhaps even 5:30 a.m. for some of you. New Year, new games! That's very, very right. I'll just plank on the floor. I hope you enjoy that plank. Let's see. Well, how was everyone's New Year's? I'd love to know about that. Please tell me, please document your times before now. How was last year? What plans did you have? Any New Year's wishes? I had a cold. Oh, Wumbly. Oh, Wumbly. Oh my. I relate strongly. Unfortunately, as much as I do love frolicking in the snow, I love playing in a snowy forest, I do not fare so very well in the cold. I do feel it saps my energy and often I get sniffly. Unfortunately, I feel you can probably hear that as of right now. But maybe it gives me a more mature edge. Maybe a little more character. Ah! I just knocked over things. It's fine. What was I saying? Oh yes, a little more character, a little more of a mature tone, a little more age, a little more mystique, perhaps. I got drunk in VR. That was a time. That sounds very good. I will join you soon in the drunken VR times. Oh no! I promise you all, I covered my mouth. I did not just sneeze on all of my bottles. And these bottles, they're just decoration. Don't worry about them. I'm not serving you anything out of there, alright? We're fine, we're fine. Ah, Lucha Ace, welcome, welcome. That New Year's over. Pardon. That New Year's over in Fang's stream. Ah, thank you for the bless you. Ah, I bet that was so much fun. Dang, don't make such a face at me. You know I would never sneeze in anyone's drink. That is nasty. That is horrid. Reprehensible. Absolutely not something I would support or do. Get that face out of here. As for me, I got commissioned on a pretty big commission. Oh dear God. You know, it would be nice to just have a normal stream where I don't have to be drunk, but I swear to God, my ability to communicate goes right down. Grow up sober, what are words? Drunk, I am an eloquent poet, and I will never stop talking because I have so much to say and so much to convey. Pulled an Austin Powers there, I know I didn't allow myself to introduce myself. A project, yes. I was commissioned for a very big project, a very in-depth, very high-stakes project. For someone, basically I'm helping them win a cocktail competition, being paid a hefty sum. So, hooray! But as a result, I can't really show too much about it. I have to wait till the competition's over. But after that, I should be able to actually talk about what I made. So, hooray! But for now, that's a large majority of why I was so busy and not able to stream. A lot of discovering. Well, okay, I won't be too cryptic. Basically, I had to make a somewhat seasonal margarita base. Make it interesting enough that someone wouldn't just make the same thing, like, oh yes, holidays, cranberries in it, pomegranate, the end, done. Because that's been done before, of course. But eventually, I'll be able to post some recipes, and that will be fun. But there was a lot of experimenting, and I can be quite particular, and oftentimes I have an idea and not quite the understanding of how to accomplish it. And let me tell you, that gets expensive. Now, thankfully, all of my ingredients were funded, but, woo! Sometimes you just look at the receipt and go, huh! Unlocking the secondary, much richer vocabulary is real. It is, indeed. Chamomile tea. I know that I was just complaining about being sleepy earlier, but, needed a tea. I think I should be fine now, though. I did have a little rest. Wake up! Okay, I'm awake. Thank you, Faye. Well then, what say you, my lovely? Should we start something new tonight? Wakey, time for school. Oh, I would go right back to sleep. I am so done. I will never learn another thing. I spent so much of my time, so many hours learning things over what should have been a nice break. Instead, I learned. It was all fun, but now I'm kind of done learning. I'm a little spent. It's time to be stupid. It's time to just read mindlessly. Back to dreamland. No. Done learning? I'm done learning, Cube. I don't wish to learn anymore. I've done my time. Weeks of it. And I did at one point learn how to get things working with Sammy. I just don't know why it won't work on my desktop. That's very rude. Now you're thinking like me. I'm so proud, Vanille. What? Jack, that's terrible. Jack, you should not be proud to not want to think ever. This is the year of head empty. Oh, God. Especially in your line of work, I cannot help but think that is very, very dangerous for you. Going to see you in the next few days juggling knives and getting lost in thought, and it's gonna go right through your hand. I'm calling it right now. But anyway, let's see what we've got here. Got a few visual novels I thought might be nice to read. Let's see. You've got a couple rather spooky. Ooh. I'm kinda mellowing out. Whatever happens, happens. Okay. I hope your skin stays intact during that. Let's see, we've got Peculiar Tales of Midlake Pavilion, which you are someone going to the Midlake Pavilion, and you happen upon a mysterious man who wishes to tell you stories. Like little one-offs, little spooky. I've only played through one, so I'm not sure what the rest hold. It's very interesting, and mostly voiced. I wouldn't be reading too much. Then there is not as much a game as just a visual novel. I don't believe there's any choices in it. It's called Rituals in the Dark. About this lovely little lesbian couple. They definitely hold hands, at least. I'm looking at a little preview. It seems spooky. I like it. And the girls are pretty. We also have... Oh, where is the other one? I just saw it. Oh, Fishing Planet, how I love thee. But not today, not today. Ah, The Case of the Serialized Killer. Point and click detective game. Gotta find the clues. Figure out what's missing. Who could the killer be? Wrong answers do happen and can ruin everything. Then there's Fare Thee Well. About a girl who travels to a bar, and I think maybe she doesn't have a lot of time to live, something like. Then there's a story of a traveler who comes across some gay nuns. That one does have choices. You know, that might be fun. That might be fun, and we can just try and figure out what will happen. See how far we get. Well, do any of those sound good to you, my lovelies? Are you looking more to be read to so that you can drift off to sleep? Looking for something spooky, something that gets your attention this late night hour? What was my other choice? Simple story, or gay nuns. Thank you for that. That's very lovely. I would love to hear what you're all thinking. Warhammer poisoned my mind. Whenever I hear nuns with guns. These are nuns with other nuns. Not to be confused with The Nun. Which I know this is going to sound so silly. Because I am a big scaredy cat, as you all have seen. I'm not ashamed of it. It is simply a fact. It is a matter of life. I don't find The Nun that scary. I do not find The Nun that scary. I did get scared a few times when things jumped out during the movie. You want to know why I'm not that scared? Because The Nun looks like Marilyn Manson. I cannot help but see Marilyn Manson. This dead thing pops up in a church, and all I hear is, the horrible people, the horrible people. I I don't find it scary. Oh no, I shouldn't laugh. Oh no. I'm so sorry I did not mute my mic in time. I saw that spike. I saw that giant spike. I'm so sorry. All sound fun to me. I'm all about cute girls. I think that would be fun. I think that would be... Let's see. From that. Once upon a windswept night. And what's fun is the nuns are part of a smaller story. There's an overarching story as well. Ooh. Without further ado, let us go. There I am. Do I want to be a little taller? Maybe I want to come up. Hey. No! Is that better? I like that. I like that. You can see a little more of me. Right, I'll take it. I'll take it. I probably should have made... This was going to fit in the game screen, and I am just realizing I did not. Oh my. That feels like very loud. Is there a way for me to start this game over? Hey, don't say it. Feels like such a long time since you last came here, but also hardly any time at all. I know that. But I dare say you are far too loud. That feels better. How does the volume sound now, my love? Oh, how on earth did I do anything? There must be a way for me to start this game over. It's only letting me progress. Can I... Why doesn't escape work? That seems odd. Hello? 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 What button need I push so that will not continue on in this fashion? Oh, it's just a whole thing, a whole rigmarole. But let's see, let's get this going so everyone can see where we're at. See if it likes that. I'm not seeing it, I'm not seeing it. Alright, what about a new input? A better input? An input you've never seen before. We're still not gonna get it, huh? We're still... Is that so? Is that so? Pourquoi? Ain't that some shit? What if we try again and just hope for the best? Are you going to be very loud again? No. Oh, look at that! Now it wants to work. Well, actually, it seems quite fitting, doesn't it? Aha! Aha! I see, I see. I see where we are. Though drawn by some powerful otherworldly magnetism, you find yourself here. Well, isn't that to be expected? She told you as much. This library is always waiting. She's the one that told me. Ah, greetings once more, my... Icarus offers you a small smile, relatively understated. It lights up the gloom more Ah! Oh my god! That should not have frightened me. That should not have frightened me. Oh, I see that I blocked my own. Hello. Hello, my darling. How are you doing? Oh, lovely to see you. Thank you so much for the raid. Oh my goodness. Let me see if I even remember how to do this now. Hi. How are you doing? What were you playing tonight? Oh wait, no, I saw you for a little bit. You were playing Persona 3, was it? I believe? Aha! Ooh. Oh goodness, thank you for grabbing a seat at the bar, Brooksy. I need to make sure I get my things. And Persona, thank you very much for grabbing a seat at the bar. Very happy to have you all here. Mamie, I'm so glad to see you. How has the night been? How's your game? Are you getting them? Are you getting the personas? You putting them where they need to go? Choosing the right persona for the job? Alright, I think that might work now. Oh, maybe it won't. Yeah, I think now if I get follows, they will be seen. Sorry about that, folks. Just getting back, settling in, and well, some things are going better than others. Started so fail girl, but now I'm Sigma pilled winning girl boss. Wow, that is quite the turnaround. Look at you go. I love to see the trajectory. Very proud of you. I am a little fail girling myself, as it were. I'm a little on that failing spectrum rather than the girl bossing spectrum. But I'll get there. I'll get there. Be here. Alright, that's better. Alright everyone, is the game alright so far? Is the audio alright? Is my voice alright? Everything level as it should be? Okay, we love girl failures around here. Well, at least we're cute. Got that going for us. All sounds good. Wonderful. It's a small smile, relatively understated, but it lights up the gloom more effectively than any candle. Great, even. Well, thank you. Very glad to hear that. Shall we continue where we last left off? No, we're going to forget. We're going to forget everything. Start over. Oh, she does not look pleased. She does not look pleased with me. Women don't like it when you forget things that are important to them. I'm so sorry, ma'am. Your head spins. You open your mouth to reply. No sound comes out. Instead, you choke on your own tongue. This is all far too much for you. Dear, do not fret so. That is easy for her to say, but how can you help yourself? None of this makes sense. You think about things too deeply. You will place your body under an undue amount of strain. We only have faint, phantom-like existences. If you begin to ponder the nature of your own life too greatly, it will snuff itself out. You will forget everything. You will forget me. But most of all, you will forget yourself. But it is far too late. You've already forgotten yourself, haven't you? Yes, it really is hopeless. You don't even know your own name. You have precious little to forget. Getting rid of the last few scraps of your identity will be too hard. In fact, even easier. Goodness, your body is growing very faint. Lycris's voice too is growing fainter and fainter. Swallowed up by darkness. You can no longer hear the crackling fire. You can no longer smell the dust. You can no longer feel your fingertips. You are incapable of going on. I suppose this is for the best. But I will still be waiting. The story will always be waiting. If our paths ever cross again, I will be sure to greet you like a dear friend. But why does it hurt so? Has this perchance happened before? Thank you very much. Oh, it just closed the game on me. Oh my. Oh wow, that's what happens if you choose to start the game over. That is very dramatic. Anyway, thank you, Omace, for grabbing a seat at the bar. Sorry that we've forgotten all about ourselves and our game drifted away as a result. But we are going to try again. Oh god. I really like the person that does these visual novels. And by the way, this one is called Once on a Windswept Night. Oh god, the breathing is rather scary, isn't it? That's intense. Are you all hearing that? Your category is Shantae. Is it? That makes no sense. Did I not save it? Oh no, it didn't, even though I edited my stream. Oh my god. I didn't save it. I didn't hit done, I suppose. Diggy, thank you for that. Oh my god. And how long have I been doing this? How long have I been doing this? He asked you. Not you, Diggy. The thing that was playing just now. Alright, let's fix this really quick. We'll just call it Late Night Girl Talk. Why not? Why not? That is so embarrassing. Why did I not remember to save this? Let's see if there is even Once Upon a Wind-Swept Night. Right. We started for about 20 minutes before, but otherwise it's a first playthrough and visual novel. Done. Alright, looks like it was updated successfully. So I suppose we can try again. Alright then. You blink, your eyelashes fluttering. You don't know where you are or even who you are. The room is dark. No matter how you strain your eyes, you cannot see details. Cold and quiet save for the panicked sounds of your own breathing. For all you know, you could be the only person alive in the whole world. The world itself seems to have compressed as a small, shrunken down, no bigger than the size of a walnut. You're trapped inside all on. Why trapped in a walnut? Where are you? Body's becoming inert. Fingers twitch. Been here for a while, much too long. I can touch, smell, and hear. I've got a body. I am a person. Beginning to doubt the nature of your own existence, lost amidst the aether of non-being. I could have been many things, but instead I am a human, living creature. To cherish this life I have. See if it becomes clear. Am I supposed to run in this darkness? The sound of silence weighs heavily upon you, broken only by your own beating heart. Yes, it is beating. The organ pumping away inside your chest is proof you are alive. This, you do. Right, we're trying to make sound, and it's not working. We're just in a void. Ah! There we are. It's the fire sound from earlier. Although I suppose you all saw something you were not supposed to, but now this gives a little more context. The low crackling fire, perhaps? Above that, a dull tick-tock, tick-tock. A tick-tock! Clock and the chink of china, the flipping of pages, scent of peppermint tea and dust. Decades upon decades of dust. Cold, empty environment has spawned life, as though from your own desperate desire for color. Does that make you the center of the universe? Oh, wait a minute. You can't even see it, can you? I'm reading this and it's not showing up. Why aren't you working in game capture? This, right? It looks like it's where is that? That's not. Where is my game? It says that it's showing up. Hello? Where on earth? It's right there, so why isn't it showing? It was showing before. Where is it? Where is it? Alright, I'm going to remove this and then try again. Wait, now it's there. What the fuck? I just deleted what I thought was it, and now I don't know. No? I don't know. I simply do not know. I simply do not know. But all I know is that it is back. I do not know why when I remove a source, suddenly it pops up right where I need it to be. But cool, I guess. Alright, what antics are we into tonight? Voya, welcome in, welcome in. Thank you for joining us. We are reading a spooky tale about two nuns and a traveler. This is just one part of an overarching story. There's a beautiful lady we're about to meet. She will reveal more of our fate to us. And SFR Cloudy, good to see you. Woo, technology once again defeated. Oh yes, we are making it work. We are getting there. Campfire in the dark. Very dark indeed. It was very dark, but now it's not as dark. It's still just words. Might as well be blind. Don't know if you're relieved or not by these sounds. They are cozy, yes, and familiar. Where have you heard them before? Another life? Swallow, your throat feels dry. Oh wait, and that's right, Diggy, you redeemed a hydrate. I very much appreciate that, because as I read that I thought, oh yes, my voice is a little dry. Thank you for that. A little delayed, but we got there. Oh, unsteady step forward. Wooden floor creaks beneath my... Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Unfamiliar voice falls from your lips. It's not a voice you have heard before. Recognize it only by the virtue of the fact it speaks when you manipulate your mouth, your tongue pushed against your... Voice echoes throughout the darkened room. Dozens upon dozens of excuse me's. Flipping of pages pauses. Green fire continues to crackle. Someone. Despite the thick darkness that envelops you, oh wait, you shiver, strain your eyes. Perhaps you could make out a few details. Wooden floor, rocking chair. You're sitting upon it, a dusty old tome in her lap. Girl. Oh my. It has been such a long while since I had a visitor. Sighs softly. Is that a good thing? Must be lonely sitting in the dark for so long with nothing but books for company. How can she even read in this gloom? The reality seems to operate differently from when you came. Better not to ask. Otherwise the whole world might fall apart. My name is Lycoris. May I inquire as to your title? Your title? She wants to know your name. It is an awfully good question, but you do not remember it yourself. Your brain strains as you try to pluck the first word you can think of. What is my name? Give her $20. Why does she need $20? I need $20. Lycoris has everything she needs. She's got a fire, she's got a clock, a teacup, and a book. God, I love white-haired women. Oh yes. Oh yes. We're going with Vanille. Vanille, is it? Lycoris nods her head, see it shifting slightly in the gloom. Well, Vanille, do you know where you are? Shake your head. Fuck if I know. You have no idea, you just happened to wake up here. That is quite natural. Most of my guests are wanderers, travelers if you will, who find themselves here for want of anywhere else to go. I am not overly fond of fancy names, so I suppose you could call this my library. Glance about. It is a library after all. You did wonder. Oh, Epsidon, thank you for the head pats. Let's see. See if that does it. Head pats for Vanille. Now we continue. Many books, many books. What does she mean? It is difficult to explain, but stories are not born from nothing, you know. Now, seeing that you are here and I am here and there is little else to do, would you care to help me? You don't understand. How could you be of any help to her? It does look like she's got it all figured out. There's a story in here that has been in a state of flux for quite some time. It is about a traveler much like yourself who... Lycoris pauses. She frowns. I am getting ahead of myself. I apologize. In any event, would you like to listen to this story with me? Are curious. What kind of story is it? It is very important to me. I feel it is connected to my identity somehow, yet it rejects me. It shifts like sand when I try to pursue it, and the words do not stay in the correct order. Such a thing may not be possible in the world you come from, but this universe can be rather unfair. When we want things the most, they slip between our fingers. If you were with me, however, perhaps I would finally be able to reach the real ending of this story. What is so important about you? You don't understand. I do not know, but I feel as though we have a connection. You feel it too, don't you? Oh my, we must have a connection. The story is special to me, but I feel as though it may be special to you too. Press one hand against your chest. Her heart flutters like the wings of a butterfly. She might be right. You're sure she is. Why else does your heart pound? So, what do you say? There is nothing to say. Find yourself nodding in dumb agreement. Whoever she is, she takes your breath away. Perfect! Now, why don't you take a seat, my esteemed guest? Discover to your surprise that you are sitting in an armchair. When did that happen? It's a very curious library indeed. Let us begin. We shall dive into the story together. We have all the time in It makes a sound. I like that. I really like the way that Ebihime does stories. There's always a level of interaction with the reader that I don't expect always. From restarting to getting rid of your saved progress, trying again. There's always something you don't expect. She does a really, really good job with storytelling. Oh my god, it's a 2024 edition Vanille! Go Tanks, welcome in. You're just in time for us. Open one of the many books in the strange library, which seems to be alive in and of itself. A little tea before we delve further. Little clear my throat, don't. That's better. Once upon a time, a long, long time ago, there was a traveler. Now, you were probably thinking this is not a particularly exciting beginning to this tale, neither original. There are travelers from all walks of life, near and far, for innumerable reasons. Business, pleasure, or just plain necessity. This story is different. Not an epic, sweeping tale of grand adventure. Sword fights dragons or princesses. It is a lot smaller than that, humbler. Simple story about one traveler who could have been unremarked, stumbling upon a secret tucked away in a small, dusty corner where few ventured. Managed to change the lives of 2 young women. That sounds interesting. Wouldn't you agree, Vanille? Said my name. Said my name. That's my name. Woohoo. I believe that's me, the traveler. I like the sound of this rain. I feel like this might be a wonderful stream to just have on in the background. For the fire sounds and the rain sounds. This is nice. Can't believe this. Shadowy figure was tramping through the moors, a hood drawn over their face. Rain pelted the figure from all sides, and the wind stirred the edges of their worn traveling cloak. The figure did not slow in their solitary march. They could not. If they did, they might collapse from fatigue, never getting up again. Rain on these desolate moors was unforgivable. It fell from gray overcast sky endlessly, seeming to submerge the landscape with water. Not that the landscape was much to look at, really. I don't know, I like this blue light. There were a few scrubby, weather-blasted bushes and a withered old tree that seemed ready to collapse. That was all. It was the travelers' first time in Dequa, and they were not particularly impressed. See? I really don't. That accursed goblin. What did he take me for? If I see him again, I'll wring his neck. Kato, hi! Hey, Vanille, how are you? I am well, thank you. You're just reading through a lovely little story. One mysterious book in a labyrinth of library. We are reading a story that this beautiful, magical librarian of sorts is showing us that she thinks is connected to her and I. Now I'm playing the part of the traveler. We shall see how it goes. The traveler cursed under their breath. There's no reason for them to do so. There was no one within 100 miles. It gave them a reason to keep going. Revenge. They couldn't let themselves die here, not until they tracked down that conniving, backstabbing rogue and... What? Killed him? Oh no, that would never work. The traveler was a merchant, not a mercenary, and they had never killed before. They were a vegetarian, for goodness sake. They would have to do something else. But what? Maybe this was nothing more than foolishness. Nequa was a large country, and the goblin would be long gone by now. Would never see him again. No, I can't back down. I will find him. I will. The traveler's ears twitched. Their nose was running. Ew, gross. They sniffed, trying to stem a trail of snot that was beginning to trickle. That's very descriptive. That wasn't very appealing. Rain had seeped through their traveling cloak, and the traveler's skin was icy cold. And their shoes were waterlogged. Good shoes, high-quality dragon hide from the best tailor in Charlotte. Not that it mattered now. They were ruined. That goblin. I have to find him. I'll show him what for. He could have dropped me off outside the village gates, but no. It's only a 5-minute walk, he said. Follow the path, he said. What path? The traveler had been duped and they knew it. The goblin had not only taken their money, but had refused to deliver them to their destination. They had been walking for 5 hours, and had still not encountered a single dwelling. Rain was getting heavier. The traveler did not fancy their chances. What if they died? But life, as always, has a way of providing when we need it the most. Things look grim and have lost all hope. There is always a light to guide us. A light that takes us by the metaphorical hand and envelops us in its... At least, that is how stories work. It would be a tragically short tale if the main character died within the first 5 minutes. It was when the traveler finally accepted the possibility of their own death, with teary eyes and snotty nose, they chanced upon salvation. There in the distance, over the tops of the many hills, was a shape. A structure? A building? It was no piece of mere vegetation like the other markers that dotted the environment. The shadow, though faint, had walls and a roof, and there were flickering lights inside. Ah! The traveler gulped. They'd almost succumbed to the cold. Their fiery indignation towards the goblin had faded, along with their last scraps of strength, been on the verge of surrender. Sweet, blissful surrender. But they could hardly do that now. They had to keep going. An angel. Oh my, are you all right? The sodden traveler was met at the entrance of the church by a young woman wearing the garb of a nun. Her habit was wavy, her hair was cornflower blonde, and her eyes were blue. Blue eyes were fringed by long pale eyelashes. When she blinked, the traveler feared she might lacerate her own irises with them. Such was their length. This is the one part I don't understand, because, eyelashes can't be so long that you lacerate your eyes. They are only growing farther away from your eyes. Whatever. In a word, she was pretty. Almost inhumanely so. Enough to take your breath away. I am fine. The traveler was uneasy on their feet and they faltered. I think, I might need to sit down for a few moments. But of course. Please, rest a while. Nun took hold of the traveler's hand. Her skin was soft and warm. The traveler's face flushed from the close contact. Not that the nun noticed. The traveler's face was, after all, still obscured by a heavy hood. Oh, we're tramping through here, aren't we? The nun led the traveler to the wooden pews, and there the traveler sat. They had not realized how exhausted they were until the pressure had been taken off their feet.
Oh dear, you are exhausted. You should stay here for the night. Oh no, I couldn't. I don't want to impose, and there is somewhere else I need to be. Don't be silly. It is raining witches and warlocks outside. It's all right. I'm rather durable.
Traveler raised one slender arm, the folds of their cloak fluttering, and tried to flex their muscles. The nun did not seem impressed. Though she was a soft woman, gentle curves and golden hair, there was a certain hardness about her, school mistressy perhaps, that made one point absolutely apparent. She wanted to care for somebody, she would, no matter how unwilling that somebody was. The traveler was weak against people like this.
That is very impressive, but you are dripping wet. You will catch your death of cold. Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And whatever does kill you kills you.
That is a very good retort. She was very quick with that.
Yes, I didn't think of that. Then it is a good thing you chanced upon this church. We don't get many visitors.
The nun's voice trailed off, and the traveler felt inclined to ask why that was. It doesn't sound like you're around much of anything if you're 5 hours away from it. Sounded like the beginning of a story, some narrative thread one would do well to follow, but the nun shook her head and the moment passed.
Are you hungry?
The traveler was hungry, starving in fact. They had more pressing concerns.
I was wondering if you could answer a question. And what might that be?
How far away is Castella?
Castella? I suppose it's a good 10 miles away. It would take 2 hours to reach on foot.
No wonder you don't have many visitors.
In this weather, however, it could take as much as 4 or 5. 10 miles!
So much for 5 minutes down the path.
That goblin, when I see him, I'll hit him so hard his ancestors will feel it. Goblin? Are you, by any chance, going to the market in Castella? That's right. I have wares to sell, and I need to sell them. It is imperative I get to the village before the break of day so I can set up my stall. You say that you need to, but that is not possible. The rain is too great, and your condition. Who cares about my condition? If I don't make any sales, I won't have enough money to eat. That's the reality of life.
Especially after that traveler had given that goblin 5 gold coins. Oh, it hurts. The nun, however, remained firm.
If you want to know who cares about your condition, I do. As a servant of Lady Madeline, it would be a grave sin for me to let you leave in this state. It is a suicide march. You will die. But, no buts. But I don't even know you. Why do you care so much? Because it is my calling to care. I don't want to see any more people suffer. Not this time.
The "not this time" hung in the air, suspended by its own ellipses. It was again an invitation-asked question. Loose thread in a story that was only just unraveling. But it had not unraveled enough, not yet. There were further introductions to be done.
There will be no more arguing. You will stay here tonight whether you want to or not. What a pain.
It was not, the traveler had to admit, their finest hour.
20 miles?
20 miles one way. 20 minutes and 10 miles. Wait, no. It wasn't 20. Was it 5 hours? 5 hours one way, 2 hours the next.
Now you must get some food in your belly. When was the last time you ate? I'm not sure. 6 or 7 hours ago, maybe. That will never do. I will have to tell Daffodil.
You're gonna tell on me?
Daffodil? She's the other sister who tends to this church. I will wake her and tell her about you, and we can make you some food. Oh no, you don't need to wake anybody. Not on my account. But I must. It is my duty as a sister.
And though the traveler wanted to object, it was their duty as a merchant to sell their wares. They could not. The expression on the nun's face was so determined it would have felt like a great cruelty to rob her of this chance.
I will tell Daffodil. You, meanwhile, will remain here.
I will?
You must.
All right, all right.
You can look around a bit if you wish, but there isn't anything particularly interesting. You can try to steal our valuables if you have half a mind to pursue a career as a criminal, but you would be wasting your time. There isn't anything here worth stealing.
Make me sound like some sort of rogue.
I was not trying to accuse you. I was simply informing you of our financial circumstances. The churches have been in a state of decline as of late.
Well, laying it like it is. Is that why there are only 2 sisters working here?
That is a bit complicated.
A troubled expression fell upon the nun's countenance. The traveler felt guilty for having asked the question. It's clear there was a deeper mystery afoot. The traveler did not know what.
So,
Nun clapped her hands together.
Before I leave, is there anything you would like to know?
Yes, I just realized. You haven't told me your name.
My name? Oh!
The nun blinked, her spiky lashes flickering. We are worried about her poor eyes. That was a mere fancy, however.
It has been such a while since anyone has asked my name. I quite forgot. I apologize for my rudeness. It was quite the oversight.
It's fine, I don't mind. You are giving me a place to stay.
Yes, well...
Nun smiled, a soft, charming smile, accentuated by the light pink tinge to her cheeks, and ducked her head.
My name is Madeline.
Like the goddess.
Like the goddess indeed. I fear it is quite a feat to live up to it.
Oh, I wouldn't be so sure about that. What little the traveler knew about Madeline, she seemed like a perfect goddess to them already. The traveler sat on the wooden pew and glanced about the church with mild interest. Now that they were alone with only the dim sound of the falling rain and howling wind to accompany them, they were afforded more of a chance to explore. The church was a ramshackle building, to one side like an old man, everything an air of disuse. The stone floor was covered in marks and scratches. Stained glass windows ran with paint slick and wet. The altar in the corner, festooned by shadows, seemed almost watchful, most particularly of all. There was a tree. It was a withered old thing, perhaps even older than the church itself. It grew by the altar, trunk sprouting through the stone floor as if it had always been there. The church had grown organically around it. Maybe it had always been there. Looked old enough. Traveler shifted, her behind brushing against a rusted nail. Ow! Nail snagged on the fabric of their cloak, digging against skin, and it hurt. Madeline had only been gone a scant handful of minutes, and the traveler did not know when she would return. What should they do while waiting for her? Ooh! I like this interface, this is nice, but I suppose that means we can only record one save at a time, huh? Uh-oh. Can I resume? Should I return? Ah! Alright, that's how it goes. Alright. Oh. We have the option to leave? I don't know about that. Alright, everyone. Tell me in the chat. Should we leave? Examine the altar? Examine the windows? Or examine the tree? Oh, it did not keep my spacing. Alright. Annoying. Well, what should we examine? I'm sort of particular to the tree. I want to know, why is there a big-ass tree growing in the middle? Altar seems interesting. The altar does seem interesting. Oh, 2 for altar, alright. Unless anyone has anything else to say, I think we're going to examine that altar. Ah. Very nice, very nice. Alright. Man, those feet must be heavy with fatigue. Those sounds are so loud. Just thump, thump, thumping through the church. Traveler rose to their feet, legs heavy with fatigue. Their feet fell against the stone with a series of harsh, striking steps. Indeed they did. In their current state, they were probably too tired to explore. Madeline would have scolded them if she knew. But the traveler could not help themselves. They'd always been a curious sort. Why else would they have become a traveler? Seeing new sights invigorated them. This church in the middle of nowhere was certainly intriguing. Even if the traveler had been more familiar with the main religion of Dequa, Baremelism, was it called? Their curiosity would have been piqued all the same. This is the altar, is it? The traveler pondered, ears flattened against their skull. Oh, what kind of ears does the traveler have? It must be some kind of anthropomorphic creature. I did not know that. That's the first time there's been any mention of ears flattened against the skull. The altar consisted of complex wooden structures on an unadorned table. Nothing else. Is this what Madeline meant when she said there was nothing worth stealing? The church was very plain. The altar was no exception, although... Traveler blinked. There seemed to be a prayer book lying within the wooden structure. The prayer book was probably the most expensive thing in the church, and it was so old it appeared to be falling apart before the traveler's eyes. Ooh. Do we want to examine the book or sit back down and wait for Madeline? Maybe they can move their ears? There's no way this person is human. No way. Humans don't flatten their ears against their skull, even if you can wiggle your ears. Alright, my friends, shall we examine this book or sit down and wait like good boys and girls? I think we should examine it. I don't think Madeline would mind if we looked through her belongings. She didn't seem to care very much about the possibility of me stealing anything. Might as well be nosy. Alright, I think we're gonna examine the prayer book. Urge your curiosity. Onward then! Traveler looked at the battered prayer book curiously, her head tilted to one side. Bindings were made of aged leather, and the traveler feared the slightest brush of a fingertip would make it crumble. Ooh, I really hope I don't break this book. It was difficult to see in the relative darkness of the church. There was an inscription running along the cover. Book of Mojele. Oh, and it disappeared just as quick. At least the traveler thought it said that, but they were not entirely sure. They were not entirely familiar with Dequasien, and they had trouble making out the finer points of the alphabet, particularly in the dark. Fortunately, the traveler had been interested in languages from an early age and was more or less fluent in 3 of the main tongues across Desservir. They certainly knew enough to communicate with Madeline. Perhaps their slight accent made it a touch difficult for Madeline to understand the nuances of their conversation, but it was enough. And speaking of Madeline, it was probably best to sit back down and wait for her. The traveler enjoyed peeking at curios from centuries past, and this book certainly seemed centuries old, but they did not want to ruin anything potentially holy. It wasn't like they'd be able to read the fine, spidery handwriting of a long-dead nun in the dark. Oh! Oh my.
Who on earth are you?
Daffodil, as it transpired, was not nearly as welcoming as Madeline. Perhaps it was because she had just been woken, but the traveler was more inclined to believe Daffodil was a disagreeable girl by nature. There was something about her face that seemed to say without words,
I am thoroughly unlikable.
Not even the nun's garb could dampen this impression the traveler had of her.
This is the traveler I told you about, Daffodil. They are to stay in this church overnight to rest and recuperate. I don't know if I trust them. They're a complete stranger. That may be the case, but isn't it our duty to care for our neighbors, even those who may come from foreign lands? But isn't it also our duty to look after ourselves so we can continue to serve the community? For all we know, this traveler could be a wanted criminal, a serial killer. Just imagine! I don't think they're a serial killer. You aren't a serial killer, are you? Like a real serial killer would admit to it, idiot.
The traveler was inclined to agree with Daffodil, but let the comment slide.
Wasn't a serial killer last time I checked. But I might change my mind when I get a hold of that goblin. You were traveling with a goblin? For a few hours, yes. Then that settles it! We can't trust this person, Madeline! No one who travels with goblins can be reputable. Daffodil, don't be so prejudiced. There's nothing wrong with goblins. They're cheaters and swindlers, and they don't hesitate to stab people in the back if they can make a few gold coins. For all we know, this traveler...
Daffodil made quotation marks with her fingers.
Could be a goblin themselves. We don't know what they look like. Yes, I did wonder about that. You should take your cloak off. It is drenched with rain and you'll get sick.
Oh, Yes, totally. I'm resting up from my last victim 40 miles away. Indeed, right? The traveler faltered. Though their hood was heavy with rainwater, they had not even considered removing it. They could not. If it's all the same to you, I would prefer to keep the cloak on. I am sensitive to, the light.
But it is dark in here. Not dark enough. I might get a rash. I have sensitive skin. This is all very suspicious. Forgive me if I don't trust you instantly. I'm not expecting you to. I never asked you to trust me. I was rather surprised that Miss, Madeline? Just Madeline is fine. That Madeline was so accommodating. I didn't expect it. Madeline is like that. She's far too nice for her own good. She takes in all the mongrels that turn up at her doorstep, and I'm the one who has to clean up after.
Daffodil prodded Madeline in the side with her elbow. What a feisty little thing.
Do you remember that time you insisted we take in this old beggar asking for bread, only for him to steal our bronze candlesticks? Well, at least we helped the poor man. His clothes were ragged and he was so very thin. I hope the candlesticks were of use to him, and he sold them for food and lodging.
Daffodil rolled her eyes.
As always, Madeline, you are far too nice for your own good. But we must be nice. There aren't enough nice people in this world. You agree with me, don't you?
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Well, this was quite the quandary. The traveler had not wanted to get dragged into an argument, but now they had no choice. Do we think there should be more nice people in the world, or you should be more careful, Madeline? Pardon me. Thank you for grabbing a seat at the bar. The Blitz Railgun, very nice to make your acquaintance. Let me know if I can get you anything. Nice people are cool. I think that's lovely. I think there should be more nice people in the world. There's enough assholes, we could try to be kind to each other. At least we should make assholes feel out of place for being assholes. That's one thing about being nice. Even if people might take advantage of you, if enough people are nice, it is terribly apparent that they are the asshole and no one wants to be around them, and then they feel uncomfortable. Good. Throw caution to the wind was the... What do you call it? Not trophy. Is it a trophy? That's the thing I just got. Achievement! Achievement.
You think so? I quite agree.
Huh. Daffodil folded her arms across her chest and turned her nose up in the air. She seemed none too impressed by the traveler's reply.
You're just saying that because you want to get on Madeline's good side. Not that that's very hard.
Yeah, she puts up with you after all. That was what the traveler wanted to say, but they did not. Burning bridges with Daffodil a scant 5 minutes into their introduction would not do any of them favors, particularly when Madeline was so fond of her. Why was Madeline so fond of her? It was a mystery wrapped in an enigma.
Anyway, should I begin the preparation for a simple meal? Oh yes, that would be lovely, thank you very much. It's nothing really. You're far better at cooking than I am. That's only to be expected, given your upbringing. I wasn't very good at cooking when I first started either. Guess that makes me feel a little better. If you would prefer, I could prepare the food while you attend to our guest. No, thank you. I would rather cut myself with a knife in 15 different places than rub salt into my wounds. Ouch. My company really that repellent? It is repugnant. Wow, you don't deserve to eat Madeline's cooking. You haven't earned the right.
Somebody is rather protective.
Don't mind Daffodil too much. She says harsh things, but she has a big heart. She just doesn't want me to get hurt. It's not like that, really. You're reading too much into it.
Daffodil folded her arms and turned her nose up in the air.
I don't know how you managed without me for so long, Madeline. You're hopeless. That may be the case. When I am with you, I feel rather less hopeless. Give me strength. Stupid! Don't just come out with sappy lines like that!
My motto in life is treat everyone with respect until they prove to you they deserve otherwise. Nice. Oh yes, Fang. Oh yes, Fang. Nuns. Nuns in the church. Nuns in the church that is far from society. Nuns in the church that are alone all day in an old musty shrine with a big old tree. Perfect for kissing under. Do do do. Character flew straight out of Class of '09. And now Daffodil is going to begrudgingly make me some food because I don't deserve to have Madeline's cooking. Please God send me a lonely nun. Well, you've got to walk 5 hours in a terrible old moor, and then you should happen upon their humble shrine. That's all we know for now. Oh, and it's 2 hours away from Castella. Wherever that is. But, if you're going to check it out, bring your old pal Vanille, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Looks like there could be more nuns here. I bet they're in the market for some more nuns. Why don't you take us? We're two lovely ladies. We could throw on a habit. Teach you some new ones. Why is she wearing shoulder pads, though? Oh, it's her... Wobbly, yes, indeed. It is her shawl, her garb, not shoulder pads.
But it's true. Whatever!
So saying, the younger nun departed to prepare the food. A serene, gentle stillness settled upon the pair that remained, broken only by the sounds of falling rain. Just as Madeline had predicted, the rain still had not let up. It probably wouldn't stop until long into the night. By that point, it would be too late to depart for Castella. Travelers sighed. Their plans had been well and truly scuppered. The meal Daffodil prepared was a rather simple affair. A thick vegetable soup served in an earthenware bowl with a piece of brown bread on the side. Sounds good to me. Vegetables had been cut awkwardly with an inexperienced hand, and parts of the soup were burnt. Oh my. The bread, meanwhile, was inexpertly made and sunken in the middle like a crater. Oh, it's so far cloudy, thank you. Pardon me, thank you for the hydrate. I'll partake of it gratefully. Ah, thank you very much. Nun vibes, indeed. The outer shell was hard enough to break teeth, while the middle was chewy and curiously textureless. Nevertheless, the traveler was hungry and made rather short work of Daffodil's less than impressive offering. The young nun watched as the traveler ate their food, shoveling it into the dark recess where their mouths should have been, and frowned.
What do you think? Is it good?
Oh my god, we're gonna tell her it's good. This isn't even a choice. I'm not hurting her feelings. It's good. It's terrible, but it's good. It's good that it's in my hands. It's good that I didn't have to make something out of sticks and grass. It's good that a nice young nun prepared it for me, and I'm not out in the rain by myself. Hey, she's cute. Oh, Cube, she's cute. She's cute. She doesn't want me to think that, Babaka.
It's such an obvious lie. It isn't good at all.
Oh my god, she's cute. It's good if you know what's good for you, kind of vibes. Exactly. But despite being wily enough to see through the traveler's blatant falsehoods, Daffodil's cheeks still flushed. Oh, she's cute. It seemed, though she knew she was being lied to, the lie still made her happy. Humans were such complex, contradictory creatures. So we are definitely not human. What on earth are we? So, Madeline smiled warmly, as was her wont. Then the travelers set their empty bowl and plate to one side.
It is getting rather late. I believe Daffodil and I will turn in soon, but I fear that would be rather lonely for you.
Lonely?
Indeed, I would not want you sitting in the vestry on your own. I would feel guilty. Just leave them to it, Madeline. Giving them a roof over their head and a place to sleep. Isn't that enough? But what of company? Rabbits die if they get too lonely.
Ah. The traveler stiffened at this comment, but neither woman noticed. Instead, Daffodil rolled her eyes. Rolled her eyes a lot. It was probably bad for her. Maybe they would fall out of her skull one day.
Please, the traveler might be many things, but I'm sure they're not a rabbit. For one thing, rabbits can't talk. Well, I suppose you're right. So, our esteemed guest? More like unwanted nuisance. Would you care for some company tonight? If you desire it, I would not mind staying with you.
When Madeline asked like that, the traveler found it hard to resist. It really had no choice. Oh, we don't even get a choice at all. We're not even pretending.
Are you sure you're all right in those damp clothes?
Oh, thank you for your concern, but I will be fine. Madeline did not look convinced, but she let it slide. For that, Traveler was grateful. Even so, the expression on Madeline's face, all of a sudden, it looked horribly sad. Had they done something to offend her?
I'm not wearing this cloak because I don't trust you. I do. I can't take it off. Not for your sake or Daffodil's or even my own. I hope you understand.
Traveler did not know why, but they did not want to upset Madeline. Oh, are we taking a step away from the book? Nope, she's right in front of us. Though they hardly knew the woman, she was sweet and soft and gentle. The kind of person whose smile could lighten your heart, and whose frowns could pierce it like thorns. If they had been with Daffodil, the Traveler would not have cared one whit about causing any potential offense. Madeline was different. Ooh. The nun looked surprised, however, at the Traveler's comment, and she blinked.
Oh, I am not offended. Please do not worry on my behalf. But you looked so sad, I didn't know what else to say. I am sad, but not because of you. Not entirely. So it is partially because of me. Well...
Madeline directed her gaze upward, the vaulted roof of the church. It was still raining outside. Rainwater tapped against the stained glass windows incessantly, asking to be let in. Knowing Madeline, she was the kind of woman who would have opened the worm-eaten wooden doors to welcome the rain.
I just think it's sad that you feel the need to hide your face. Not that I am trying to coerce you into removing your hood. If you do not want to, you do not have to. That is your own prerogative. But I cannot help but wonder, though it may seem rude of me, what kind of life must you have led to make you so very secretive? Like I said, it's the sunlight. It's bad for my skin. But it's dark right now.
Traveler, unbeknownst to Madeline, bit their lower lip. Perhaps they could have removed their hood. They did not know Madeline well, but they did not feel the nun would judge them for their appearance. Yet the Traveler could not. They reached upwards with tremulous hands, but froze in the act of revealing their face. Hello, Sonic. Good to see you again after a long while. Hope your night's going well. Being scorned by such a sweet woman would have hurt too much.
Anyway, I apologize for making the atmosphere awkward. It was rude of me. We are going to be together for quite some time, and it does not appear that the rain will stop anytime soon, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Questions. The Traveler glanced about the church. The wooden pews, the cobwebs in the corners, and the withered tree by the altar. Pondered. Vampire? I don't know. I don't believe it's a vampire. I think it's just an ugly person. They're afraid. Oh, so many choices. Why is there a tree growing in the church? It's me. Wumbly, no! Are you and Daffodil the only nuns here? I feel like we kind of touched on this. I don't think we need to ask them. What is the... Ooh. What is the nature of your relationship with Daffodil? The people want to know. Can you tell me a bedtime story? That's awfully cute. That's awfully cute. Damn it, Wumbly, you beat me to it. Too fast for you, Jack. Alright, what do we think? What are we interested in finding out? Why is there a tree growing in the church? Are you and Daffodil the only nuns here? What is the nature of your relationship? Or a bedtime story? You all ponder that while I have some more tea. Oh, one for bedtime story. Captain Cube says we should hear a bedtime story. I bet she'd reveal something rather personal if we asked for that, so I'm not opposed. Relationship? Oh, one for relationship. Oh, we could get a little juicy. We could get a little juicy here. Alright, what are we thinking? Bedtime story or relationship? I personally am torn between these two options. Give it 5? Wait, option 8. Excuse me? Mr. Donato, my math is off. Bedtime. Bedtime, bedtime, bedtime. All right, bedtime story it is. I wonder what she's going to tell me.
Oh my, you want me to tell you a story? Really?
Yes, well, you have a nice voice. I like listening to you. It's relaxing. Let me hear the truth. Do women ever kick cacti? I haven't asked every woman, so I don't know, but I do not. Sounds painful.
Goodness, I have never been told that before.
Hasn't Daffodil?
In case you haven't noticed, Daffodil is quite awkward.
Oh, wow. All right, Madeline. Just lay it out like that. That's smart of you. Thank you, thank you. I try to be smart.
She dislikes complimenting others. I believe she has never been taught how.
No?
No, it is quite sad, really. I suppose it is to be expected given her upbringing, but that is neither here nor there. I shouldn't speak for her.
If she knew you were sharing juicy tidbits of her past with a stranger, she would never trust you again.
I fear you may be correct. Though I love her dearly, she can be quite contrary. A story, then. I suppose I could tell you a parable.
Parable?
It is a tale from the Book of Marjolaine, and it is well known among the inhabitants of Dequois. Bernadette told me it when I was small. I have always cherished it. It is such a dear story, really, though quite sad. I think a bittersweet tale suits a rainy night like this.
All right, Miss Dramatic. Oh, that was me. I'm Miss Dramatic. That fits.
You do? Thank goodness. I am fond of this parable myself, but Daffodil dislikes it. She says it is too sentimental. She's such a realist.
Despite being a nun?
Are you trying to infer that one cannot be a realist if they are a nun? If I were the type, I would take offense to that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to imply. But the traveler's voice broke off. Madeline was giggling.
Do not worry. Daffodil is more cynical about religion than you are. I have heard it all before.
But she's supposed to be a nun.
She's supposed to be, but she has no desire to serve the goddess.
What does she want to serve then?
Well, I wonder. To return to the story, are you familiar with the concept of souls?
Man, I should have asked about her relationship. Ah! It's alright, this is gonna be interesting. I can smell it. Traveler repeated the word, tasting it on their tongue like a piece of boiled candy, and then shook their head. Boiled candy? No, thank you. Dequoisians was not the traveler's mother tongue, and there were many words and phrases they were unfamiliar with. Souls was one of them.
Well, let me see.
Madeline pondered, her gaze directed roofwards as she thought.
I suppose I would call it an entity that resides within us that lingers on after we die.
Is it
Something like a conscience? Not quite. Perhaps I didn't explain it very well. Anyway, this parable is about souls and how the concept of a soul has changed over time. It is a religious tale, but you can regard it as a simple story if you wish. How does it go? If you truly wish to know.
Pardon me. Madeline shifted, her hands folded in her lap, as she made herself more comfortable. Hello? The story of lost souls. Oh my.
Long, long ago, more than 1,000 years hence, people were not born as one complete vessel, but two. All living creatures were divided into a physical body and their spirit. That would be the soul. Living creatures could not see their souls, but everybody knew they existed. The soul made its presence manifest whenever a person felt sad or lonely, to soothe and comfort in times of strife.
What is this, like a heartless and a nobody?
When people were stressed or unhappy, they could place their burdens upon their soul. As the soul was a separate entity to the physical body, the soul would accept these negative emotions, and the physical body would be cleansed. There was, however, a downside to this practice. If the soul accumulated too much negativity, it would become tarnished. Then, when the person died, their soul would be left behind to wander the earth. Their soul could not transcend to the next life because it was too beleaguered with all the regrets the physical body had left behind. These souls had to realize their lost dreams somehow. But how? Without a corporeal presence in the world, it was not easy. Eventually, these lost souls would be swallowed up by the life energy of the world. With no alternative other than wandering, they became one with the earth and turned into plants. That is how trees and flowers were created. They were the lost souls of those who died unable to reconcile their regrets, and thus were unable to transcend. Many centuries followed, and all living creatures nowadays are born with their souls inside their bodies. When people feel pain or regret, we have no way to purge ourselves of these feelings. Because our souls are an intrinsic part of our bodies, have to deal with our pain and regret while we live, lest they consume us from the inside. Fun. Okay, It is a lesson we all should learn. We cannot run from our problems forever. No matter how difficult life becomes, we have to do our best to tackle the obstacles we face. Then, and only then, be at peace with our inner selves and achieve true peace when we die.
That's the story?
Oh.
Madeline ducked her head, perhaps a touch shyly, and brushed a strand of blonde hair behind her ear.
What did you think of the story? Did you like it?
It was an inspirational story. I'm not hurting Madeline's feelings. You can't make me do it.
Oh my, do you really think so?
Of course. What would I gain from telling a lie?
I'm glad you like it. I too am rather fond of it. It is not a particularly cheerful story, but I think it carries an important message.
All right, Madeline. Oh dear, I need another moment to clear my throat. Okay, that's better. That's better. Why are pre-roll ads? I thought we had done away with pre-roll ads. Oh well. Alright, are we all ready to go? Y'all ready to see maybe why Madeline would tell me this story? still telling me about. Break in progress. Maybe we'll just sit here for a moment then. Soak it all in. Enjoy this lovely ambiance. Have a little more water in the meantime as well. I have to admit, it's a little jarring how differently Madeline and Daffodil look. Not just clearly that they're different ages and they're at different points in their walk with the great goddess Madeline based on their garb. They just look so pretty and otherworldly. Daffodil does just look like a little punk girl who got picked up at the orphanage and was made to serve God. Sometimes that's how it be on this bitch of an earth. But I do wonder what kind of world they live in where there's things like goblins and creatures with ears that go flat against their skull. Am I really a rabbit? I seemed really upset when she said, Rabbits will die if they get too lonely. I was very scared. Am I just a big anthropomorphic rabbit? Is that what I am? I suppose we'll find out. Anyway, what do you think of this important message? We can't run away from our problems, right?
Indeed, they are useful words of advice whether you believe in souls or not.
But Daffodil does not like it?
She does not.
That was hardly surprising. What Daffodil didn't like would fill a lexicon.
The story makes her feel uncomfortable, and I can imagine why. Life has not been easy on her. But neither has it been easy on me. I am glad Sister Bernadette told me this tale. It is the single most important gift anybody has given me. Without it, I doubt I would have been able to keep living.
Oh my God. Well, there's something for ya. There's a little look at her personal life. That's what I was waiting for. That's the ticket, baby. That's exactly what I wanted. Tell me all about it. Tell old Vanille. Lean your beautiful blonde head upon my shoulder and tell me what ails you.
It sounds like you must have led a hard life. I suppose, but Lady Madeline does not give us hardships if we cannot bear them. Maybe it was a test.
What kind of test?
Ooh! I could tell you if you wish, but I fear this story is even less palpable than the Book of Marjolaine.
Traveler started, suddenly guilty. After all, they had not confided in Madeline about their true nature. Madeline had spoken to them so earnestly, but she still did not know a single thing about the traveler. Why then? She seemed so willing to offer so much of herself to a relative stranger. It was because she was too nice. Trusted too easily, and then she got hurt. That was the general impression the traveler had. But surely it would be rude to turn her offer down.
If you wish to tell me, I would not mind. I will listen to anything you have to say. When you say that, it makes me sound like a sinner at confessions. Oh, I was not trying to imply that. It's fine. I'm just teasing. If we cannot laugh in life, what else do we have? Laughter is important.
I like Madeline very much. Like Madeline very much.
If we could not laugh, life would be miserable indeed.
Like yours?
My life has not been comprised of the most pleasant experiences, but I have survived. I have a lot to be thankful for. Let me see. I suppose I should start at the very beginning.
That's a very good place to start.
Excuse me?
Oh,
it's a reference to a musical play. It was very popular in Praline, but perhaps it hasn't been staged in Dequa? Ah, I see. If it is a play, I would not know anything about it. I've never left this church before. Not once? Not once.
But don't you ever want to see what's out there?
I have always been criminally uncurious. That is what Daffodil tells me. She says I should explore more, but we have occasional guests such as yourself, and they tell me tales of their own travels. That's all I need to be happy.
That sounds like a simple kind of happiness.
That sounds like a bit of a simple insult.
But it is happiness nonetheless. I do not want to ask for too much. It would be selfish.
You should let yourself be a little selfish from time to time, or you'll never get what you want. My mother never approved of me becoming a traveler, but I defied her wishes.
You must lead a very exciting life. I fear my story cannot compete. You see, I never knew my mother or my father.
In that case, I apologize.
You do not need to apologize. You did not know. In any case, I might not be an orphan. My mother or father may still be alive somewhere in Dequa, but I will never meet them. I was abandoned on the doorstep of this church when I was a baby.
Oh my.
The nuns found me and took me in. They raised me as their own.
That must have been lonely.
I was not lonely. I did not miss my parents because I never met them.
Don't you resent them?
I could not.
I would resent my parents if they abandoned me.
Perhaps you would, but I could not. How can I dislike people I have never known? Moreover, I am sure they have their reasons for leaving me. Maybe they could not afford to care for a child, or perhaps they were worried they would be unable to make me happy. Perhaps my mother was assaulted, and she did not want to keep a child born from such a union. Maybe my mother died in childbirth, and raising me alone would have driven my father wild with grief.
Oh, thank you for that hydrate. I will take that moment. Ooh, thank you, Gotenks. I very appreciate. Well, such horrors exist in our world. We can't deny that.
Whatever the reason, they must have been good people. If they had wanted me to die, they could have left me in a ditch. The fact they left me outside a church shows they at least wanted me to live.
Max, hi, Happy New Year. Indeed, Happy New Year. Welcome in, welcome in. We're just reading about a nun's sad life. She's very pretty and she's seen some shit. But she's never seen her parents.
I only have thanks to give them.
I don't know if abandoning a baby is an act deserving of thanks.
I kind of agree with Madeline here, honestly. If you are not prepared to take care of a child, I don't think you do the child any good by forcing yourself to take care of it, building resent and teaching it that it's unlovable. I think it's much better to give it up. Don't give it a chance to feel hated and unworthy of a mother's love. Hey Cube, are you playing a game, Cube? Cube, are you playing a game? I think you're playing a game. Hope you've been great. I have been great. Thank you, thank you. Very happy to get back into the swing of things here. Thanks for joining on my first stream back and first stream of the new year.
Maybe not to you, but I will never stop being thankful to my parents, whoever they are. Without them, I would not exist.
Traveler shifted uncomfortably. Did Madeline believe everything she said? It was Madeline's narrative, and she could choose to present it however she wished, but it was as though she refused, point blank, to accept any negative interpretation of her parents' actions. Well, but why, though? Why do you have to insist that it was a bad thing that she was abandoned on the doorstep? What good does it do her? Hey, Madeline, you seem to be handling this information quite well. What if you were upset? What if I pointed out all the ways this could be terrible for you? Wouldn't it be better if you were upset? Wouldn't it be nice to go to sleep angry every night instead of being peacefully okay with how your life turned out? I'm also a stranger that's gonna disappear in the morning, but I thought I'd just ruin your day and possibly your life for you. Traveler had always argued with their family. Then it prompted their decision to leave home as soon as possible. Don't bring your baggage into this poor lady. Leave the nun alone. She's found peace. More than the rest of us. That mean they were childish? If Madeline had been in their situation, the traveler was sure Madeline would have seen the silver lining. She would not have run away because she was not that kind of person. She was much too stubborn. Her determination to see the world positively was impressive, but at the same time, slightly unsettling. Rain continued to drum against the windows, a gentle pitter-patter like a baby bird's heartbeat. Rain silenced the traveler. It was time for them to listen to Madeline's story. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy! Madeline's story.
I never knew my mother or father. I was left on the steps of this church when I was but an infant. However, I was never lonely. The nuns who lived in this church were very kind. They cared for me like I was their daughter, though in fact I was a nobody child of mysterious origin. They fed and clothed me, they gave me a place to sleep, they taught me rudimentary mathematics and how to read and write. They showed me how to tend the vegetable gardens outside and how to cook and clean. But most importantly of all, they befriended me, gave me companionship. I never felt like I had any reason to feel sad, even if I did not know my parents, because I had already managed to find such a wonderful family.
Max says I've been quite focused with the end of the year, and now this year I'll be making my new start with my debut. I have my new songs in the works, and I'm releasing one of the new ones just finished this month. Oh, well, I'll look forward to hearing that then. That's fantastic. Looks like you're on a roll.
They taught me about Lady Madeline and how she must have saved me for some greater purpose. I thought it was horribly self-centered to believe a divine entity had any interest in an unremarkable girl like me, but the sisters persevered. They told me Lady Madeline cared for all her creations equally.
Rumblehide, welcome, welcome! Glad to see you. I hope your night is going well. Thanks for stopping in. We're reading about this poor nun's tragic and humble origins, how she came to work in the church, and why she has never stepped foot outside of it.
Of all the nuns at the church, however, I was the closest to Bernadette. Bernadette was like a big sister to me. She was 12 years my senior, and I clung to her skirts like a duckling follows their mother since I was old enough to walk. Bernadette was the one who told me the story about our souls and how they came to reside in our bodies. I was 7 at the time, and there was an awful thunderstorm. The sky was thick with rain, much, much harder than it is tonight, and the wind whistled so loudly I feared the church would be blown away. I used to be afraid of the dark when I was a child, and I was horribly scared. I could not sleep soundly in my own bed, so I crept into Bernadette's. I think I woke her, but she did not scold me. Instead, she held me close, patted me on the head, and told me the story about souls. She said that we must face our own problems, no matter how scared we are. In retrospect, I do wonder. Maybe she told me this story because she was tired and wanted me to go back to my own bed. I would not blame her if this was the truth, because it was very late at night, and she was awfully patient to put up with me so. In any event, no matter what her reasoning was, the story left quite an impression on me. Bernadette gave me a good deal throughout the years, but I think that tale is the most important gift anyone has ever bequeathed me. I am not exaggerating when I say it helped me through some truly tough trials. Truly tough trials, truly tough trials, truly tough trials. The goddess is never unfair, but, oh, it can be rather tough. At times, I thought I might break. But then I recalled Bernadette's words, and I grit my teeth and I tried to get on with it. I had to. My life continued like this, unbroken, for 14 or 15 years. I grew into a young woman, and I continued to live with the nuns. I never interacted with anybody from the outside world, save for the travelers who came to the church for refuge, and the beggars asking for alms. Though the church is 10 miles from Castella, we had no shortage of visitors. It had a good reputation, and the Mother Superior was renowned as a kindly woman who gave generously. If Daffodil were here, however, she would say it was Mother Superior's kindliness that was our undoing.
What does that mean? What does that mean? What happened? What does that mean? Indeed, I recently at least got my banner icon ready, so I just gotta make my new socials so that I can share them. We're all up to date, my stuff. Ah, very nice. Madeline drew a breath, perhaps attempting to steel herself for the latter half of her tale. Winced.
Goodness, this happened 8 years ago, but it still haunts me. Silly, I am being foolish. If only Daffodil were here to chastise me.
Sure of what to do, Traveler reached a hand towards Madeline. Did not feel confident enough to rest it on her shoulder. It would have been so easy to comfort Madeline if they were Daffodil, but they were not. Traveler could do was let their arm drop and say softly, "I don't think you're foolish. I think you're strong and noble."
Oh, my. You know, flattery will get you nowhere.
I wasn't trying to flatter you.
I wonder. Daffodil is convinced every traveler we accept into our church has wicked designs on my innocence.
Oh my.
She says they would all propose to me if given half a chance.
I don't know about proposing. I'm not the marrying kind.
Me neither. I am already married.
Ah! You are?
To Lady Madeline, of course.
Oh, right. Of course.
In any event, I love Daffodil too much to leave her on her own. She gets awfully lonely when I'm not around.
How are you ever not around? You just said you never leave the church. Where do you go? She has a cute side,
She is very cute. She just doesn't like showing it because she's pig-headed.
Oh my, Madeline. Madeline! Good God. Poor Daffodil's probably rolling over in her bed.
If she smiled a bit more, I'm sure you would have begged her to keep you company tonight rather than me.
Well, I don't know about that. She seems rather violent. Oh my God, Madeline!
Like a little rabid dog. But she always calms down when I pet her.
Madeline! Oh no, that gave me a coughing fit. That was too funny. Madeline giggled. She looked a lot happier than she had done before. She really must have loved Daffodil if talking about her cheered her so completely and instantly. The merriment soon faded from Madeline's face as she reconsidered, staring out one of the stained glass. Oh God, here it comes. Oh God, here it comes. Madeline's story resumed. Have a little water. Okay, what horrors await us?
One day, a traveler came to our church with a mysterious illness. His face was covered in black pustules and his skin was pasty. He walked with a limp and seemed ready to collapse at any given moment. He said he had been turned away from Castella. The villagers would not allow him to stay for fear he would infect everyone. By this point, the traveler had lost any hope that he could be cured. His illness was much too advanced for that. He just wanted somewhere to die with a touch more dignity than the side of a road. Some of this... Oh! Thank you, Goose! Good to see you again. Lovely bedtime story, isn't it? She's not the best at bedtime stories, it seems. I can tell this poor girl has not been super socialized. She's a little funny. She's a little funny.
I like her a lot, but
Oh, the sound of my voice is pleasant. Let me tell you about the time this man came in with pustules all over his face.
yeesh. But thank you so much for signing up again. Goodness gracious, a 21-month streak. Goose, you darling. This makes up for all the times you annoy me so much. I'm kidding. Happy New Year. Good to see you. Good to see you. Now, back to our horrible story, and I think we all know where this is going.
Some of the sisters were skeptical, but the Mother Superior remained firm. She said it was our duty as servants of Lady Madeline to welcome any and all travelers in our church.
I do my best.
We nuns followed her orders, of course, and prepared a bed for the traveler so he could die in peace. As he died, he thanked us. I remember that clearly. Though we could do nothing to alleviate his condition, he was thankful from the bottom of his heart. But his presence in the church was like a curse. Within a week of the traveler's death, some of the sisters began to suffer from fatigue. We thought it was a passing illness, but the symptoms persisted until the nuns were inflicted with the same black pustules as the traveler. It all happened so fast it was unlike anything I had ever seen before. The sisters all fell ill in such a short span of time, and then they couldn't eat or drink, and they suffered mysterious pains. The pustules grew and grew, and when they got too big, they burst. Ugh. Ew. The smell was indescribable. We nuns who did not succumb tried to help, but we couldn't do a thing. Mother Superior called a physician from Castella. He could not help either. He had no advice to give other than fresh air and bloodletting, but it made no difference. In time, even Bernadette, I do not want to dwell on something so miserable. You should know what happened, and see how desolate the church is now for yourself. Nuns, all of them. Every last one, they all died. Even the Mother Superior. They could have run away and spared themselves, but they did not. They remained, trying desperately to tend to their fellow sisters. Although this spelt their own demise. When I first came to this church, there were 11 sisters. In less than a month, only one remained. Me. Do not know why I didn't succumb to the sickness. At the time, I wished I had done. I wished I had died with my sisters. They were all my friends and family. Family I had, and without them, without Bernadette, life seemed so hollow, so empty. I was left with corpses, and I did not know what to do with them. I walked to Castella, hoping some of the villagers would help me, but they refused to set foot near the church. I returned all alone and set about the task of burying the corpses myself. Could not simply leave them, not after everything they had done for me. It was an act of reverence, but at the time, it was suicidal. I hoped, as I buried their wasted bodies in the churchyard, I would also fall ill. As I dug those graves, I was wondering whether one of them would become mine. But though my mind was weak, my body was stubbornly robust. I dug graves and buried bodies for 3 whole days, working long into the night with little food or rest, but I remained fine. Perhaps perversely, health was fine. In fact, the cool air brought roses to my cheeks, and the physical labor improved my constitution. I seemed to grow healthier and healthier, though my family, Bernadette, who would never get back up again, knew that, because I was the one who buried them. Put their limp, lifeless bodies into those graves, and I covered them with dirt. I watched as I filled their open mouths with soil. But doing so seemed unforgivably horrid. I thought I would go to hell. At the time, I hated myself. Why had I survived? Why me? I tormented myself for so long, I almost considered taking my own life. If I could not become sick, I could at least slit my throat or pierce my heart with a sliver of glass. I did not care what. I was just so lonely. I was accustomed to always being around others, you see. I had been lucky enough since my birth to always be surrounded by people who loved me. But I fear I had become rather selfish. I wanted to be loved. I was desperate for it. So desperate I could have died. But I remembered the story Bernadette told me. That we should not run from our problems. That we should take care not to stain our souls so that we may transcend to a higher plane of existence. I told myself if I took my life, my soul would be blackened irreparably, and unlike our ancestors from hundreds of years ago, I would not even be able to become a tree. I would just wither and die. So I could not kill myself. I was close to it, but I knew that would be unforgivably selfish. I had vowed to be a nun and to spend my life serving others. What manner of nun would I be if, when faced with hardship, I served only myself? I chose to live. Thanks to Bernadette and my faith, all the love that I had been fed with in my childhood until I could not be loved any more than I already was. I was able to survive, and I have never regretted it.
Wow, god damn, oh my word. That was so much, that was so heavy, that was so dark. Ah. And thank you, Wumbly. I will slip into something comfortable. I need something to help take the edge off, something to keep those chills at bay. What a story! This is the worst bedtime story I've ever been told. What am I supposed to do with that? Heavens. Give this poor girl a cookie, indeed. Man, that was some bedtime story. Seems like it'd be up your alley, Jack. I'm surprised you're still awake. Oh my. Give her a hug. She needs a hug. I wish my weird, silly, cut-off, cloaked self would give her a hug. Whew. Traveler stared at Madeline, her eyes beneath the folds of their hood. I went for a little rainy drive. Oh, that sounds lovely. The clouds in the night sky had parted. The moon shone, bright and full, high up in the night sky. Stars twinkled around it, spectral spectacle. Had they been so very impressed by Madeline's tale that they had come out of hiding simply to listen? If so, the traveler did not blame them. This was the strength of a woman who had seen those she loved die before her eyes, unable to do a thing. She had buried their bodies on her own when she was only 15. Still a child, really. It seen so much death, and yet here she was. She was still alive in this church, and she continued to welcome travelers with a smile. She could still smile, even now, and after everything that had happened. No wonder laughter is so precious to her, this poor girl. Of course she has to find something to laugh at. What horrid memories are in this place?
You really are impressive. Oh, it was not solely because of my own strength. I do not mean to brag. I was lonely, you know? I was horribly lonely. I remained in this church for almost 5 years all alone because it was my duty. I helped those who asked for help, but nobody stayed. In the end, they always left me. I worried, though. I worried, though I had not killed myself, I might collapse from loneliness.
I sort of went for a rainy drive tonight, except the car was a Zamboni and the rainy road was a hockey rink. Alright, Goose, I can sort of see syntactically how that might be similar in certain contexts. I can see where you're going with that. I smell what you're stepping in. I see where your Zamboni is going. I like the look of rain moving across a window. I'm not really big on driving, and I sure wouldn't want to go driving when it's raining out because I would be sad and scared. But I do love the look of rain moving across a glass pane. Goose, did you listen to the music from Drive 2011? Naturally. Ah, is that the natural thing to do when on a Zamboni? Or is that when you're around water in some context? Whether it's raining or you're on ice. Gotta listen to Drive. I'll be honest, I don't even really know what that sounds like. Based on fuck! Based on fuck, you say? Interesting. I hate mobile autofill. Oh, autofill, I see. That or Tokyo Drift. Tokyo Drift in the Zamboni. That sounds intense.
Living on your own is not a pleasant experience. There was nobody to talk to. Till you met Daffodil? Indeed, until I met Daffodil. I can keep going because of her. She gives me hope, though she does not realize it. She thinks I support her, but it is not nearly so one-sided. She supports me too.
Like the souls in that parable.
That's right.
Madeline nodded firmly, her face bright and beatific with its soft, guileless smile.
She is like my anchor, my other half. Perhaps it would be more fitting if I called her my soulmate. Ooh, 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 soulmate, your soulmate.
Hey, maybe your marriage to Lady Madeline could have a few strings attached.
Soulmate.
Traveler repeated Madeline's makeshift title. A soft, sweet epithet, filled to the brim with love. How could anyone show scorn for such simple, sweet affection? That night passed without further event. The traveler was able to snatch a few hours' worth of sleep on the wooden pew, curled up inside their damp cloaks. They did not know if Madeline had stayed with them through the night, but the traveler presumed she had. Judging by her story, she was the kind of woman who gave herself to others completely, even if they were not able to appreciate it. She had told the traveler she would accompany them throughout the entire night, so she had, said Teresa. The new day dawned. Oh well, that stained glass is so bright and cheerful now. Weird use of the red, though. I'm not sure what that's supposed to convey. Although, I think perhaps here is a very good stopping point. You all want to go to bed after having heard those terrible nightmare-inducing stories? Is that the bedtime you needed? We gotta hear a little bit of rain. Let's see. I think we should record. I think we only get the one. I mean, yes, I want to come back to the spot next time. Yay, murder bedtime story. It's not murder. It's, plague death. It wasn't murder. It was, accidental manslaughter, really. The sick man didn't know he was going to kill every single sister in there except for Madeline. Poor man just wanted a place to die with dignity. Murdered by nature. Well, I suppose. We'll write our save there. What a happy little bop. I do love VN music. I love VN soundtrack. Thank you all for joining me tonight. It's been mostly pleasant. I suppose I'll take this off for now. Whew. A rather chilling tale. Not as much Yuri as I would have liked, but perhaps we just have to keep reading. We've alluded to some things. Alluded to some nice relationships brewing. Have to see where that goes next time. Not sure exactly when I'll stream again, but I believe Monday. Monday night. I'll be streaming at some point. Perhaps Sunday? Not quite sure yet, but we're gonna get back into the swing of things. We're not gonna go so far between streams anymore. It was great. I love hearing your narrations. Thank you, Jack. Mooch the cutie church girl. I hope to. Goose, I hope to smooch her. That is on the agenda. The agenda for Monday, probably. Ah. Right, there's not anything super solid, but definitely I want to play more visual novels. I want to get back into Professor Layton. Have to see if I can get Cube on here to help me with some of these damn puzzles. And, yeah, maybe something a little more game-focused, a little more gameplay involved. Have to see, we'll have to see. There are some options here. Professor Layton is Pog. I do enjoy Professor Layton. It is very fun and very dark for something that seems so silly and over the top.
But we're both girls.
That's the best part! Indeed, indeed. Jack gets it. Jack gets it. Alright, now let's see who was even still on. Well, speak of the devil. Not too many people on right now. Let me see. Oh, Blitz Railgun, welcome in, welcome in. We are just about to raid out, but I hope that you've been here a while and have gotten to enjoy the story thus far. Alright, what do we say to raiding Q? Playing work time fun? I'm not at all sure what that is. But let's do that. What would be a good raid message? Anyone have any ideas? I'm so bad at coming up with raid messages. I might say like, come to our church, we have lesbian. I think that's a good raid message. Thanks for the stream. Thank you, Gotex. Oh, Nightmare Bedtime Story raid. Let's do that. Nightmare Bedtime Story raid. No worries, Grumblehide. Maybe next time. I do like Ghosty. Thanks for the stream. Thank you. Thank you all so much for joining me. It was such a wonderful welcome time back, and I had so much fun seeing you all. I do hope you'll join me next time. I hope to have a proper schedule coming up. But For now, it was really nice of you all to show up when I have been gone for so long. There will be more fun things in the future, so please stick with me. I've missed you all so much. Good night, kisses. Mwah, 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 mwah. Come again soon.